Welcome everyone to the beginner's room we made today. It's Friday, and Fridays like this we talk about patterns trading. So we're going to be analyzing the market for patterns today and see what trade ideas we can find using chart patterns. We have different patterns that we can trade. We have continuation patterns, and we also have reversal patterns. So whichever one we are able to find on our chart, we will analyze and talk about them. Now, talking about patterns, these are like shapes that are formed based on price behavior. You know, the way the price moves a lot of the time, it doesn't just go straight. The price would move in wave, and because of this, all this movement that we see, many times we would see some patterns forming, and these patterns, because of the way they've been repetitive in nature, we see them working more than half of the time, more than average of the time. If it is profitable, maybe 60% of the time, then it's something I will trade, especially when it gives me a bigger reward to risk ratio, right? And these are what these patterns do. They've been confirmed over and over to actually work. For instance, right here on the USD yen that I have opened, I can see head and shoulders pattern, and I think that's one of the reasons I entered the trade yesterday when I did. So what is this pattern here? Head and shoulders. Head and shoulders pattern is a reversal pattern, and what I mean by that is it gives idea that a trend is going to change. In this case, this is head and shoulders top, so it's going to change from an uptrend into a downtrend. So when I see such patterns, I just pay attention to the neckline area to see a breakout below that area. What does that give me? A lower low. Now, in an uptrend, I want to see series of higher highs and lower low, and that's what was happening at this point when the price was still in an uptrend. However, at this point, when it forms this high here, it's already lower than this one, taking up characteristic of a downtrending market. So when I see a lower high, that confirms to me that the trend likely is going to change. And then I see a lower low, and that's the confirmation I needed to have a sell idea in this case, or to confirm or to expect that the price is going to now start falling. And that's what I am saying. I see that the price had retraced in this case, and expecting it to continue to the downside. That's why I have a sell there. Okay, so patterns like this give idea of trade. They are quite easy to identify or to recognize on your chart. And once you are able to know what they do, or what direction they are pointing you at, it becomes easy from time to time for you to find trade ideas that you can take on your own. And that's what I am doing now. Being able to identify this pattern makes it easy for me to find trade ideas and to know the way I want to trade the market. Nandom, good morning. Nice to have you here. How are you doing today? Okay, so that's it for USD yen. I have a sell there because I'm expecting that the price would move to the downside, and that's one of the reason is because of the head and shoulders pattern we have there. Aside from the head and shoulders, I think on the higher time frame we also have another one. So I am seeing head and shoulders on 4 hour. I see also on the monthly one forming. This one hasn't closed below the neckline like the one I see on the 4 hour, but there's also head and shoulders forming on the monthly time frame. So what that shows to me is that there is a possibility of the price moving to the downside and even moving much lower than I had set in terms of my take profit from the 4 hour time frame. So that's it. There's also a bearish divergence. When we talk about bearish divergence, what does that mean? We see when the market forms at this time, it gave higher high, but when it was giving us on the MACD, what do we see? A lower high. So a lot of the time, that kind of signifies that the price is about to fall. So it can confirmed to me the possibility of this working out. The pattern I'm seeing a pattern. It's a reversal pattern, and then I am seeing that on the MACD there is a divergence. What does that give, or what does that show to me? That yes, this is possible. The price has the likelihood of changing direction and moving to the downside. So in that case, seeing it then on the 4 hour time frame, which is a time frame I prefer to find my trade and take entries from, seeing the pattern there, um, more like double confirm what I have been expecting, which is a move to the downside. So yes, I'm going to hold on to this to see how the price begin to take shape and what direction it begins to take. On this daily time frame as well, yesterday's candle already closed below my two moving averages. I know the averages a lot of the time can serve as dynamic support and resistance. And in this case, it seems to be serving like a sort of like a support when the price broke above it. It was initially serving as resistance and then price broke above. Now serving as support, but finally, as of yesterday, the price broke back below. We have a bearish engulfing candle forming and breaking below the two moving averages. With all of that, that signifies to me that yes, there's like a multiple confirmation that there's a likelihood of the price moving to the downside. So yes, patterns give these ideas. They kind of help you to find trade signal, like becoming your own personal signal provider rather than depending on someone else to analyze the market. You want to get to a point where you're able to open up the charts, analyze, and then have an idea what kind of trade you're going to be taking on your own. All right. And that is why patterns come in handy because they are quite easy. A lot of us learn better visually. What we see kind of stick more quickly than something we hear, what we hear, or what we read. Yes, for some people, it's possible that what they see, what they hear, or what they read stick better. But for majority of the people, they process information faster when they are able to see what it is about. So visual representation of price, which we already have with candlestick patterns, now coming into shape with chart patterns give us better ways to easily find trade ideas on the charts on our own. Now, like I mentioned earlier, there are reversal patterns. There are also continuation patterns. So since I started with reversal pattern, which this one, which is head and shoulders, I think we first for now continue with reversal pattern, and then after the reversal pattern, if we still have some times, we will also look at continuation pattern. So I'm going to open up a slide that I can use to just give you idea of some of these patterns to help understand how to trade them. So let me bring out the slide. Okay, so in chart patterns, we have both continuation and reversal pattern. What does that mean? So in a trend, in a market structure, you have trending market and ranging market. And when the market is trending, sometimes it's in an uptrend, sometimes a downtrend. So whatever trend you see yourself, one of the questions you're asking is where we are at this time. Is there a possibility that this trend continues in this same direction? So say there is an established downtrend. You're looking at, is there a possibility that the price continues in a downtrend, or is it going to pause and change direction and begin to take an up direction and uptrending direction? So you have these questions, but patterns can answer the questions for you. If you see a pattern that represents a reversal pattern, what that is telling us is that the trend is going to change, move away from a downtrend into an uptrend, or from an uptrend into a downtrend. Okay. And if we see a continuation pattern, the answer this one is giving us is that the trend is going to continue in the same direction, in the established trend that it has been. So if we've been in an uptrend and I'm seeing a continuation pattern, a lot of the time I still want to do a buy, because with the continuation pattern, it shows me that the price is just taking a pause or just pulling back, and then it will likely continue in the direction when it resumes, that it's likely going to resume and continue in that direction. So I'm going to take it to reversal pattern since we started with reversal pattern. And some of these reversal patterns are head and shoulders. We have double top and double bottom, triple top, triple bottom. Sometimes wedge patterns. Wedge patterns can serve as both reversal and continuations. So we'll start with head and shoulders that I saw earlier, but let's talk about what reversal patterns do. They help you to identify reversal of trend. Is trend going to continue in the same direction, or is there a possibility that the trend is going to change direction and move the other way? That helps you to know that this trend is changing, basically helping you to join the trend at the beginning of a new trend. So when a new trend is beginning, maybe we've been in a downtrend for quite a long while, and then price is now ready to start taking an upward direction. When you are able to identify a reversal pattern there, and you enter at that time, that can help you identify the opportunity to enter when a new trend is beginning, and then you can hold on to the trade for longer. It also can signal for you to close your trade and take profit. So say that I am seeing this kind of pattern, which is head and shoulder stop in an uptrending market. In an uptrending market, I probably have been doing a buy because the price has been trending to the upside. Now I see this pattern. What will I do? I'll close my buy and I'll start looking for my entry point for a sell. Why? Because this is signaling the end of the uptrend and the beginning of a downtrend. Okay. So we have head and shoulders patterns, head and shoulder stop, which is what I showed earlier on USD yen, and which I even already have a trade on. Okay, so head and shoulders. This one is head and shoulders top. This one comes after an uptrend or in the midpoint of an uptrend, signaling a reversal or a deeper pullback. Okay, it signals reversal to the downtrend, shows that an uptrend is going to change into a downtrend. And in that case, what kind of trade will I be looking to do? Of course, sell. Now, here are some tips that you need to have in mind for trading head and shoulders pattern. The two shoulders do not have to be of equal height. What that means is that, some people say, oh, the two shoulders, the best performing one should be on equal height, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, all right? So if you notice this one here, the right shoulder is higher than the left shoulder. If we look at both the wicks and the body, the right shoulder still is higher than the left. But what happened? Did it work out? Yes, it did break to the bottom and it continued lower. The neckline doesn't have to be straight. So in this case, we have a straight horizontal neckline. But there are times that the necklines will be sideways. So we can have this kind of market where the second low doesn't necessarily get to where the initial low had been. And in that case, the neckline will have to be slanted like this to the upside. We may also have head and shoulders that will look like this, where the next low is lower than the low before. And in that case, our neckline will be slanted to the downside. So that's also possible. What's more important in all of this, however, for you to really be able to identify that it's an uptrend are two things. The first is that the head, the middle point, which is the head, always has to be the highest point. And the second is that there has to be a breakout for you to fully confirm that the head and shoulders are completely formed. There has to be a breakout. The price has to close below the neckline, creating a lower low situation. And when that happens, you confirm the change in the direction of the market, and that's the point that you are looking to take your trade or enter such trade. Head and shoulders bottom is another kind of head and shoulders. This head and shoulders bottom, it's usually found in a downtrending market. It is also called inverted head and shoulders. In a downtrending market, you expect it to, change direction from a downtrend into an uptrend. when such pattern form, because what will validate the pattern is the break above the neckline, which represents a new high, a high higher than the last one. And with a higher high, what are we looking to do? Looking for a buy. So this is found in a downtrending market. It signals a reversal from a downtrend into an uptrend, and this reversal can give us opportunity for buy.